Welcome back. In this lesson, we are going to learn about jobs, scheduling and task orchestration. For this activity, I will be taking the example of multi-hop architecture from one of our previous lessons. In multi-hop architecture, we read the data from the cloud storage. We added the auditing columns to the source system and created the bronze table. We further read the data from the bronze table using structured streaming, cleaned the data and created silver table. Thereafter, we read the data from the silver table, did some transformations and finally wrote the data to the gold table. Let me switch to the Databricks UI. So, I have done some changes to the notebook that we created for multi-hop architecture. The changes are that I have split that single notebook into 4 parts. In the file 0, I am creating the source directory, the checkpoints directory for bronze, silver, gold layers and some cleanup. For example, I am dropping the bronze, silver, gold table if already exists, and here I will copy the first data set after creating the job and the final statement to validate the data after the job has executed. In file job 1 raw to bronze, I have only kept the code that is responsible for the autoloader to load the data from source to the bronze layer. I have also created a parameter using dbutils widgets that we discussed in one of our previous lesson. I will be passing this parameter from the job. I have also changed the trigger once equal to true in all 3 files as I don't want the streams to be continuously running because this is a scheduled job. I have done similar changes to the file 2 and 3. Now let us go to the workflows and create a new job. Let us give our job a name. Next, our first task, which is load data from source to bronze. This is my task name. The type is activity. However, there are options to choose a Python script, a Python wheel package. Within SQL, I can choose Delta Live tables pipeline or dbt or a jar file or Spark submit. So multiple options provided by Databricks. I can choose whether my notebook is located in the workspace or in the Git repository. In our case, since it is located in my workspace, so I will leave it as is. The path of the notebook. Here is my notebook, raw to bronze. The job cluster on which I want to run it. So a job cluster is usually different from the cluster on which we do the development activities. Since the job cluster will only run till the time the job is active, then any dependent libraries that we might have in our notebook, we have the option to add those as well. Then parameters, if we want to pass to the notebook, in our case we have the parameter. The parameter name is checkpoint bronze location and the checkpoint location. Then we can also add notification emails in case the job starts, success or fails. I will leave that. Then the job retries in case of the failure and the duration of the threshold. We can say if the job crosses this time, then it's give us a warning. If the job crosses certain timeout limit, fail the job. I will leave this as is. We'll click on create. Our first task has been created. Next, I will create my second task, add task, and again notebook. My notebook is dependent on the first notebook. My second notebook name is bronze to silver. I will select the notebook, bronze to silver, and click on create. Similarly, I will add my third notebook, which is silver to gold. the notebooks have been added. I have clicked on create. Next, we can see the job details on the right hand side. So these were the task detail, individual task details. On the right hand side we have the job level details, the job ID, who created it, how on using which ID this job is running. So this is required. In case any permissions is required to the job or a particular notebook, we can do the tagging, the data lineage information. If my notebook or any dependent objects are located in the Git repository, what are the Git settings, I can add the trigger. If I want to, let's say if I want to run my job at a specific schedule, then I can select, or even I can use the cron syntax to do that. Then next is the cluster that I want to use for my job. The notifications, I can add notification in case of success, failure, or the duration warnings. Then next is the permissions. I can be the owner of the job or even extend the permissions to other persons as an owner, viewer, or execute the job, the admin for the job. And lastly, the job run settings. Is there a duration threshold, or the number of concurrencies? Let's say if the job is already running and as per the schedule or manual run, another job should run or not, and how many concurrent run should be there. Before I hit on run now button, I will move back to the workspace to notebook 0 and will set up the environment first. We'll execute this cell so that the directories are created. We'll execute this. If table exists, they will be dropped and will be created when the job executes, and we'll load the sample dataset. So we are loading 2010 flight summary sample datasets. Now I will switch back to the job and will start the execution of it. Click run now. The job execution has started. We'll wait until the job has been executed. The job has successfully executed. Let us go back to notebook 0 and verify the results. I will test the record in the goal table. And yes, we can see total flights to US were these many numbers, and these records were ingested. This is the time now and what was the input source for the file. I can insert more data into it. Let us insert 2011 dataset and re-execute the job. Dataset has been inserted. I will go to workflows and let us re-execute the job. I can even go to the job runs and view the prior runs of the job. I can see job was run 3 times. The initial run failed. Here I can see the overall timeline that the job takes to execute and the individual tasks. So our latest run has also succeeded. Let us go back to the workbook and verify the results. And yes, we now see 2 records. Data for 2011 has been inserted from the source up till the bronze layer. This was all about the job scheduling, the UI, and the task orchestration for Databricks. Thank you.